guys, welcome back to my channel. It is La Demi, of course. Today we have a special story time of a lifetime. This honestly just topped every story time I've ever probably had in general, because it was like a bitch what? And I poured myself a glass of wine and well, I'm ready for story time. Okay, so basically this starts on a night I'm at home. I'm like, you know what? Let me get on Bumble. Like, I have all these notifications of messages on Bumble. I go on there and I'm looking, and then there's this really cute guy. He's at the top of my shit. I click on his profile and it's 48 years old. It says his name, blah blah blah. I'm not gonna mention his name for his own inclusive security. It's a late evening. It's probably 5 o'clock and I'm bored and I'm at home and I'm like, what's poppin'? What's going on? Let's see if there's any booskies out there. I started first because on Bumble, girls have to initiate the conversation first. So the first thing I sent him was, okay! With a heart face. And he said, such beautiful, sexy, and classy look. I love it. And I said, that would be me 100%. I said, at least you have taste. I said, you are handsome. And guys, from describing him, he is 6 foot something, takes care of himself, works out, super horizon, fuchsia blue eyes that you have ever seen in your entire life, gorgeous. So it's not even an age thing. I guess it's a daddy at this point. So in my head I'm like, ooh, daddy. But so hot, ugh. So anyways, he goes on and says, I just have a good eye and thank you. He goes, I'm here looking for a place. We'll be moving as soon as I do. Any suggestions on areas? I was like, Summerlin is the Bentley of Vegas. I said, that's the area I'm in. He's like, love that you went Bentley on me, ha ha ha. He said, I prefer Continental GT. I said, realistically speaking here, I said, I prefer a Jeep, doorless, 1999. And he goes, my dream car. He goes, wow, I wouldn't have thought of you. Perception just changed. He said, didn't think I could go higher, and put a heart face emojis or whatever. I said, I'm from Texas. Don't let the glam get you sidetracked. He said, are you interested in something like Topgolf or dinner and drinks? Or it's not an open air Jeep, but we could do high speed car racing and go-kart racing. Just at that point, I was so oh my god, this is so cute. I've never golf. I was like, oh my god, I'm down to do any of that. Sounds like fun, and drinks included will make it thrilling. It's been a really hot minute since I have gone on a social media date. I consider this a social media date because we both met on a dating app online on our iPhones in an app. I text him and he sends me a car, sends me an Escalade, an SUV first of all. And that's a first impression. An Escalade comes through, buzzes me, I'm like, hello, comes through the gate, comes here, and I'm down for it. So I text him, I'm like, oh, fancy, being a little bougie with me, or are you going out of your budget, what's going on? I get to Topgolf, and at that point, I'm a little bit nervous, because I'm I've never been there, number one. Meanwhile, guys, he has been waiting for me for 35 minutes, I was running behind. And instead of just getting one section, he got 2 sections, and had them put the couches together so we had our whole setup. At this point, I'm a little bit nervous. It's been a minute. I'm walking through. Everyone's staring at me. The typical bullshit of just meeting a first date. And I feel sometimes in my head that everyone around me knows it's a first date, but I guess that's just in my head. And I see him at the end. He's just standing here, and I'm on the phone. I'm like, is that you standing at the way end? He's like, yeah. And I'm looking, and I'm like, so hot. A dad of a life. I walk up and he grabs me, and I'm wearing this little tight want my look little dress that has 2 white stripes down the side, super sporty. I'm wearing my white Converse. I figured since we were doing sporty stuff, I needed to slick my hair back in a ponytail. His first words to me was you look so amazing. Red flag shit that guys say. I'm like, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. You were supposed to say that. You had that one down. You knew you were supposed to say that. We start playing, and I'm like, okay, first point, I don't know how to play. So he shows me all the golf clubs, the gist of the game, what's going on. Girl comes, we order drinks, we have drinks coming to us. There's loud, amazing, fun music playing. And I'm so nervous. I swing the first time and miss it. I swing the second time and miss it. Really crossed the line and came and he held me, got behind me, put my hands on the golf club, and we were hitting it. So romantic. I don't even know. Usually I think romantic could be on a cruise, cruising the Bahamas, whatever. I don't know, it was just the vibes that we were having. We were laughing and it was so fun. And like I would be playing and like hitting balls, and I would look back and he was like with his phone like this being like, so cute, whatever, like I'm gonna have to send you this video. Like he was taking tons of pictures and photos of me, which I was fine with. I was just like, whatever, like I've been working out, it looked good.
I just wanna love you, just wanna hold you, just wanna be with you till we grow old. Just tell me you'll stay or take me away.
It's like the last game, I hit my last ball. When I come back to like look at the screen to see like where the ball went, he like is like, he leans in, like he shows me where I'm like, I lean into, and I'm like looking, and then he like looks at me and he just grabs me and like fully just like leans me back like a fucking movie, and I'm like, ah! And he just like starts kissing me like so passionately, and then like we kiss or whatever. He comes up and he was like, wow, that feels so like refreshing. And I was like, that felt amazing. And then I like look over and there's like a whole other booth that's looking at us like full of guys, and they're just like, really, bitch? Game ends, we start ordering cocktails, we start drinking and having like a good time. We start talking about business, life. He starts telling me about his like $1 million business, how his birthday is like 2 days away from mine, and how he has like an extra ticket to like a cruise, and like how he would just love for me to come. And I was like, yes, honey, yes, bring me anywhere. The way he looks at me was like a gaze into me, like, ugh. And I'd be like, did I just fart? Like, can you smell it? Like, I'm expecting him to just have like a basic Sally Sue car, literally a Lamborghini. And I'm like, okay. We just have a great conversation. We go to dinner. He surprises me at some amazing, elegant dinner. We sit there, we have dinner. He tells me about his kids, how his ex-wife, a business, the up and downs, like just being such a mentor. And like I respect that so much. Like when I'm on a date with someone, this is why I love dating mature men, because they're just so, they have so many miles on me, and I feel like they can teach me so much. And me being a thriving entrepreneur, a thriving businesswoman, it's like hearing from someone that has so much experience, like I can gain so much from that. So I love literally listening. Like our conversations were so like back to back to back to back, like they were, our chemistry was like non-stop. And like he adored like my work motive and my entrepreneurship motive and like school ethic and like things I've been through, whatever. He would come back from the restroom and he would like slowly like put his arms around me like this and like grab me and start kissing my neck, and I'd be like, oh my god, I'm gonna squirt. When like couples at this amazing restaurant would be looking at me like smiling, like, oh, that's so cute, you guys are so cute. Meanwhile in my head I'm like, they probably think I'm a whore, like I'm dating my sugar daddy. So he was like, literally anything you want to do, we're gonna do it. So we go to a bar, we're holding hands, and while we're holding hands, like guys, everywhere we walked, people would stare at us. And also he looked like the guy from James Bond, from 007. He was just amping me up so much, and like when we'd walk somewhere, he'd be holding my body or my waist, or like slowly guiding his hand from my neck down to my back, like down to my bum, like just so affectionate. And I think that's probably because we're both Scorpios, that's how Scorpios are. And like, let's go to a club. So he's like, alright, whatever you want to do. He was like, I don't know many clubs here, I'm like pretty new here. I was like, I've been to a couple clubs here before, let's hope I show up and they remember me. We walk up to Hakkasan, guys, remember, I'm in kicks, he's in jeans, I'm in a little dress. Everyone is so dressed up, there's a mile long line. I literally just walk up to the front and I'm like, hey, La Demi, I know so-and-so and so-and-so. He usually always helps me out, like, I'm just here, it's just me and him. And they're like, oh yeah, for sure, Demi, like, come through. And I was just like, in that moment, I remember, like, for a split second before I, like, prayed to, like, my spiritual family, and I was like, please, like, do not embarrass me, like, let me just please, like, get this down. He goes, oh, I need to do more research about you. And I was just like, no, you don't. I think for the first time in a long time, it was, like, the first time I actually was just not interested in anyone around me. Like, my eyes were like solely for him. The way he just looked at me and analyzed every inch of me, I was just like it was breathtaking, literally captivating. And I feel like maybe I could have been tipsy, I could have been drunk, or we could have been in the club and the loud music or whatever song was playing. I just like connected with the song and then I connected with him. Just the way he was consistently not letting go of me and holding me, or would let me go and let a guy talk to me, and then when he came back he would grab me and he'd be like, you're mine. And I would like, yeah, okay, I know. At some point, I just realized this is a little too perfect. He's just like gazing at me and he was just like, I can't wait for our cruise, and like just talking. And then like I look at him. Did you read everything on my Bumble profile? And he was like, yeah, like I opened up, I saw your pictures, like I saw La Demi, online personality, whatever. He was like, I like scammed through, said like some beauty stuff, said you were a Scorpio. And at that point, my heart just went, like it fell to my asshole. Like literally thought I could shit my heart out. And I looked at him and I was like, you didn't read everything? And at that point, he's like, is there something I should know? Like, what do you mean I didn't read everything? And I was just like, at that point, I think I was so tipsy. I was ballsy. I was like, pull up Bumble right now in front of me and read my bio in front of me. Okay. And he did that and he like starts reading. And then when he gets to the end, which mind you guys, on Bumble, I do state that I am transgender. It says trans. Like, I do not try to hide it. I do not try to like be ashamed or like put it away or hide it from guys. On any social media dating app that I'm on, it states I am transgender. So if I go out with any guy, I put it there so that I don't have to bring up that conversation. They just should just know. And I haven't been on an online date in so long that I thought that like, of course he read it. Like, of course he went through all my pictures and saw it there. Like the full ass fucking word, trans fucking gender, like on my shit. And as he gets to the last, I can see his face just kind of go like, and like in the middle of the club. And at that point, I just like, my stomach twisted. And he looks up to me and he goes, this? He was like, so what? He was like, I didn't see that, but it's fine, it's okay. And then he just grabs me by like my neck, pulls me in, and just starts kissing me passionately. So he goes and uses the restroom, and while I'm sitting there, like literally 4 guys on each side swarm around me. And they're like, what's up? What are you doing here in Vegas? Like, do you live here? What's going on? I'm like, no, I live in LA, but I'm here all the time. I have family that lives here. They get a round of shots. I'm like, guys, I have a date. He went to the restroom, whatever. So I'm talking to one guy, and on the corner of my eye, I see my man come out in his white t-shirt, and he stands at a distance and he's just staring at me, and I can feel him just staring at me. He turns around and starts just walking away into the crowd, like quickly into the crowd. I go behind him and he's not looking back once, like he's just fully focused on going towards the exit of the club. And at that point I just want to start crying because like I felt that I was like, he's leaving me, like this is it. So I grab his hand and he looks back at me and he grabs my hand tighter and he goes, come on. And I said, you were gonna leave me. Like, you were gonna leave me there. And he was like, you seemed occupied enough. And I was just like, whatever. So we leave the club, and as we're walking out, I was like, so he was like, this is it. Like, he was just like, I'm going home. And I was like, well, then I'm going home too. Like, my stuff is in your car, and that's back. We Ubered here. I was like, I'm going home too then. So while we're walking next to a bar, he like stops, he's like, let's do another shot. Like, trying to break the ice because shit got awkward so fucking quick. And like, there was no questions, there was no nothing. While this is happening, he will not let go of my hand. As I sit down, he pulls my chair out, sits me down, will not let go of my thigh, will not let go of like touching me, just being so affectionate, still leaning in, kissing my cheek, and like coming back and looking at me, like getting a good examination of me, and then leaning back in for a kiss. And I'd be like, what the fuck? There's no words exchanged. We're walking through, I think the Venetian or whatever it was. I don't know, wherever Hakkasan is at. We're walking through, going towards Uber. He called the Uber. He's looking at me. He won't stop holding me. People are still looking at us. He won't stop, like, letting go of me, holding me. So I'm like, maybe he's taking me somewhere so that we can just talk about, like, something. He would be like, I should have read better. And I was just like, is there something you want to, like, ask me? Is there questions you want to ask me? Because I was like, what's going on? Like, I've had such an amazing time. Like, this is just all so weird. And he was just like, no. Like, he literally said in the Uber, like, you're the most amazing girl I've ever met. I literally felt like I was in a movie, and, like, I just wanted to cry. Like, I just wanted to cry because I knew where this was going. I knew what was happening, and it has been so fucking long since any of this has happened that I was just like, wow, like, I think I'm about to be dumped. Opens my door, gets me out, is holding my hands, like, face to face, and he looks me in the eye, and he's like, this is where we both go our separate ways. And I swear to God, I could have started crying at that moment, because it was just such a turn down and a letdown of so many degrees and heights that I was just like, my heart didn't even feel like it belonged. It didn't feel like it was there anymore. I stopped and looked at him and I was like, okay. I was like, are you sure? Like, there's nothing you want to talk about? Or like, what? He was like, I don't want an explanation. I don't want anything. He was like, I will forever remember this date. And he was just like, I just can't. And I was just like, you just can't what? Like, I'm not getting through. Like, you just can't what? You haven't asked me about surgeries. You haven't asked me about what's going on. You haven't asked me about anything. Like, what do you mean you just fucking can't? I guess from being tipsy, it switched over to being aggravated. And I said, well, first of all, you're not going to leave right here and just go back to your car and leave me here. And I'm going to call my own Uber all the way back home to Summerlin. I said, you brought me here. You're sending me back. And he was like shunned that like I got so brave with him. And I was like, you brought me here. You're sending me back home. And I said, you're not sending me back home in a little ugly car. You're going to send me back home in the car that you sent for me. He's like on his phone at that point, like texting, calling the Uber. And at that point, I was like, I'm done with this. Like, I need to excuse myself from the situation. I'd rather sit by myself. And while like I decide to like start to turn and walk away, these guys walk by him and they're like, damn, you have the hottest fucking chick in the town. And I look at the guys and I look at him and I just wanted to just bawl my eyes out. Like, I was just wanting to cry so fucking bad. I have never been just so like shunned away. I started walking away. He grabbed my arm and brought me back and pulled my head into his chest and started just kissing my forehead. And I looked at him and I said, what are you doing? Like, what is going on? Like, what is this? Like, why are you still being affectionate towards me, but you're turning me down and sending me home? So he was like, I can't explain. Like, maybe later I can explain. Or like, he was just like, I just can't. He was like, there's no explanation. So anyways, the car pulls up. He opens the car, sets me in. Before closing it, leans in, grabs me by the back of my neck. I thought he was going to do something mean. Just pulls me back in for a long kiss. And I pull back and I'm like, stop. Like, what are you doing? Like, what the fuck? And then he closes the door and won't let go of the handle. And he's just staring at me from the window into the car. And he's just shaking his head like, and staring at me. And then the Uber is like, is he going to let go of the fucking door? I gotta go. And I'm like, I don't know. And like, I like break away and look away. And then the car drives away. And then I do the look back. Literally like a movie. I like do the look back and look back. And he's still staring at the car driving away. And with the phone like lit up on his face, just looking at the car. Like, almost like the expression on his face, like, what the fuck did I just do? And I had my moment crying. In that ride, from that second I left, I began to just hate myself. I was crying and I was just like, why me? Like, why me? Why is this my life? Like, why me? I kept asking the why me? Like, everything was so fucking perfect. I don't know, a voice in my head just came to me and it's like, it's not you. Slowly, I just like stopped crying and I was like, it's not me. And then I put myself in other people's shoes around the world and I was like, I can only imagine how someone else feels. How someone can't even, you know, find the light to explain who they really are, you know, where they come from or their background or their history. They can't even feel like they have the urge to like explain that to someone and be so sensitive and honest and be judged by it or be turned down, or the dates that people go on for other transgender girls that maybe aren't possible and don't get to live a normal dating life. Like, how many times they go on dates and they just feel used and they just feel like a fetish or all of this other stuff. Like, I began to just really sit back and look at everything as a whole and see how blessed I was. But to another light, I was like, I need to share this story because I'm sure there's so many other people, so many other girls out there that, you know, have been shunned or been to their face and be like, ew, no, or like just turned down. And like, that feeling is so low. It can put you in such a depression. It had me in a depression for 3 days. I was affected. I even started a diary because I was so affected by it. And it put me in that position, in those shoes. And it's the most awful feeling. So if I can be a voice to share that I had that exact same feeling of being turned down, if I can be the voice to say that it's not you, there's nothing wrong with you, it's them. There's something wrong with them. And if they can't face it or be honest with it, or the fact that I was even being honest at first, and I made him read in front of me. You know, I made him double check. And I asked him, I said, did you read my profile? and me even being honest on social media and stating on a dating app that like Bumble that I'm transgender. I just want to say, always be strong from within. Never let someone's reaction to your story decipher how you feel about yourself, because you have a story for yourself and you created that story for yourself and you wrote that story for yourself and you stick to that story. You don't let yourself fall back and feel like you're less than, or you shouldn't be that person, or you're the fuck up, or you're the something, because no, that's not you. You are prone to make history and you're prone to share your story. And if someone else can't grasp onto that, if someone else can't deal with that mentally, if someone else is just using you, if someone else doesn't know your morals, there's no explanation needed. You don't need to explain yourself to them. You don't need to do anything. You just need to remove yourself from the situation and know that there's someone out there for you, waiting for you, because in my mind, in my heart, there's someone out there for everyone. In honesty, this was probably the worst day of my life. That's done with. But I'm glad I had that experience to enlighten me in a whole other way, a whole other dimension, and bring me in the shoes of someone else on the other side, because now I know exactly what it's like, exactly how it feels, and how much it hurts. I'm glad I shared this story with you guys. Just beware, be honest, be you, and never be afraid to fucking be you. You're you, and there's no one literally out there in the world like you. Like, it's just you. So don't put yourself on the back burner for someone else, and don't hide from someone else just because you're afraid of what they say. Be you, bitch. Show it, bitch. Let your hair down, bitch. And if you don't have hair, bitch, put a wig on, bitch, and let your hair down. Definitely voice who you are, be who you are, and live with an open spirit, because life is literally so short. You never know what can happen. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and until next time, guys, live your life. Honestly, of course. And until next time, guys.
Don't you wanna party? Standing in the crowd, feeling heartbeat. Everybody's carefree, everybody's carefree. Don't you wanna party? Standing in the crowd, feeling heartbeat. Don't you wanna party? Don't you wanna party?